Hello guys, so today we are going to learn basics of loops and conditions. Okay, so I think without delay let's start. So before going any further, I just want to enhance the importance of this, and since this video is for entirely for beginners, so I'm going to explain everything in detail. So first let's begin with conditions and then I will be going into loops. Okay, cool. And overall, after this course you will be having a basic understanding of what is an if condition and what is a for loop, and you will be able to solve basic questions or problems which is including if conditions and also basic loops. Okay, so this is the roadmap which I created. I basically divided into two parts, and part one completely I will be explaining you the concept of loops and conditions. Okay, and then this is entirely for you, like a practice problems. Okay, so I will be also explaining this problems, but I would highly encourage you to do so. So let's begin. So let's start with conditions, and the first problem here is check if the given number is greater than 4. Okay, how do you check if the given number is greater than 4? Cool. So create a file, if condition.py. Cool. And entirely in this course we are going to use we are going to do programming in Python. Cool. This is the problem, and let me just explain before starting this problem. Let me just explain what is an if condition is. So in an if condition you will be just writing an if and whatever the condition, right? In Python you don't even need to put brackets. Okay, generally you're gonna put brackets, and if it is true it's going to execute. Simple. Okay, cool. And else it's gonna execute something else. So if this is true, it's gonna execute this, or else it will be executing something else. And this is if condition expects an boolean value. Okay, what is a boolean value, right? What is a boolean value? See, if you see, there are some conditional operators. What are conditional operators? Cool. What are conditional operators? Can you tell me? See, conditional operators in the sense double equals to, not equals to, greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, greater than or lesser than. So these are all conditional operators. So let me say if 3 is greater than 2. Okay, what does it mean? Is it true or not? Yes, which means true, and this is going to execute. Okay, and let's say if I keep something else, if 1 is greater than 4, if I keep the condition 1 is greater than 4, is it true? No. So obviously else will be executed. Am I right? See, I'm gonna given the number, check if the given number, how. Okay, so here we'll take a dynamic input. And how do we take a dynamic input in Python? X is equals to input. Okay, and if you are using GitHub Copilot or anything, please disable this thing for like 1 hour or 2 hours. So we are gonna entirely code it ourselves, and you're gonna take an input which is a string. Anything is gonna take by default as a string in Python, so you need to convert it into an integer. Am I right? Okay, so int input, and if you want to just print while taking the input, enter the number. Cool. And if condition, if you can check if x is greater than 4, if the given number is greater than 4, then you can print greater than 4, else print lesser than 4. Simple. Can we run this? See, enter the given number, let's say 5, greater than 4, right? Am I right? Enter a number 7 or 1 lesser than 4. Cool. So this looks good to me, and let's see if we give number 4, what happens. Let's say if the given number is 4, what happens? Is it greater than 4? No. So it will print lesser than 4. Simple. You got the concept, right? So it if condition expects an operator which has to be either true or false. If I keep like this, greater than or equal to 4, and I run the same program again, what does it says now? 4, is it greater than or equal to 4? It is true, right? Because it's not greater, but it's also equals to. We are checking the number is equal to 4 or greater than 4. Okay, so maybe I can put greater than. So if you run this, it will just print the greater than 4 what you are printing. Then you can modify greater than or equal to 4. Makes sense? So it's gonna print the same thing what we are giving. Okay, so it will just show you the same thing what we are giving. Or we can also print x is greater. So here dynamically I am printing the value x is lesser 4 is greater than or equal to 4 here. Cool. So comma will by default keep a space, so that's why 2 spaces are printing. 7 is greater than or equal to 4. Cool. So this is a basic problem. If condition and if it is true, then it's going to execute, else this is going to execute. Cool. So I think we are good with condition basic. See, I don't want to spend more time on it because I just want you to introduce and try some hands-on practice yourself. So that's how you learn. Okay, that's how you become from zero to hero. Check if the given number is even or odd. How do you check if the given number is even or odd? Let's even or odd dot py. So this is the problem. Take an input. Okay, just take an input. How do you take an input? N is equals to int input, enter a number. Cool. So how do you check a given number is even or odd? So let me just run this program. So 5, it's printing 5. Cool. So I just want you to explain you a small concept. Okay, you know arithmetic operators, right? Arithmetic operators. What are arithmetic operators? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So I'm not gonna write a division symbol like this because in programming we'll be using something of this kind. Okay, so let's take two numbers. Okay, 3 and 2. 3, 2. So you are going to explain me what is the answer for this. 3 plus 2, 5. 3 minus 2, 1. 3 into 2, 6. So here comes the difference. What is this? This is not called percentile, this is called modulo. Nothing but reminder. This is the division operator. Now I want you to answer what is 3 divided by 2 and 3 modulo 2. Basically, this is the number that you are dividing with number in the denominator. So divisor would be 2, dividend would be 3. So you are dividing 3 with 2. What happens if you divide 3 with 2? 2 ones are 2, 1. You're not gonna keep points, okay? It's a basic integer division, okay? But in Python there are two divisions. One is integer division and another one is float division, okay? See, generally if I do 3 divided by 2, let me show you. Let me give a number 3. I'm giving a number 3, okay? I'm giving a number 3. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So it's actually doing in float division, okay? It's actually doing a float division, which is 0, 5. Cool. So this is actually giving a float division 1.5. But in generally we don't use this, right? We don't use this kind of division in any of other programming languages especially, okay? Mostly we are gonna stop here, and it should be normal integer division. We'll give 2 slashes, just integer division, not float division, okay? Integer means only an integer value, not a decimal value. So 2 ones are 2, remainder is 1, okay? So this is how a normal integer division will look like. So 3 divided by 2 will be what is the quotient? 1. What is the remainder? 1. So this is nothing but the remainder operator. This is the remainder, and this is an integer division, okay? This is an integer division. So I just want you to understand these two things. So 3 divided by 2 will be 1, okay? So 6 divided by 2, integer division, and 6 modulo 2. Can you answer me? 6 divided by 2, 6 modulo 2. When we divide 6 with 2, 2 3s are 6. So the quotient is 3, the remainder is 0. You can just check. Cool. So take a number 6 and 6 divided by 2 and print 6 modulo 2. Enter a number 6. 6 divided by 2, 3. 6 modulo 2, 0, right? So the reason why I am explaining these operators is you need to be aware of basic operators. And now we are going to check whether the given number is odd or even, okay? So now we'll check. There is a given number n, okay? It can be an even number or it can be an odd number, anything, okay? And we need to check whether a given number is odd or even, okay? Let's say n equals to 4. How do you check if the given number is odd or even? How do you check? Yeah, we check whether if when it is divided by 2, we can check if it is a can perfectly divide by 2. What I mean is, when we divide with 2, it will give an remainder of 0, meaning it will exactly divide the given number n. Am I right? So any number, any even number, when you divide with 2, what remainder it will give? 2 2s are 4, 0. Any number, 120. If you divide 2 6 are 12, right? And 0. Any number, you can take any number, right? I think we don't need to spend more time explaining this. Any even number when divided by 2 will give you 0, meaning I said any number when divided with 2 gives 0 as reminder. So can you put the same thing in code format? Can you put the same thing in code format? Any number let's say any number n when divided with 2. So can you tell me, should I check an division or reminder? Reminder, 0 as reminder, right? So what I mean, when you remind a number with 2, it value should be 0. It value should be 0, meaning it is an even. See, when you divide any number with 0, there will be only two options. Either you get 0 or either you get 1. That is the rule of mathematics, right? So the remainder will be definitely the lesser than divisor. When you divide any number with 3, either the remainder will be 0, 1 or 2. Similarly, when you divide with 2, either it will be 0 or 1. So for example, if you divide with 2, if it gets 1, for example 3, when you divide 3 with 2, the remainder will be 1. When you divide 11 with 2, the remainder will be 1, meaning it is an odd. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Take a number and divide with 2. You take any number, you're gonna run 6, remainder 0, right? Remainder is 0. And let's take 7, remainder is 1. Let's take 9, remainder is 1. Let's take 8, remainder is 0. Makes sense, right? So how do you check if this value is 0? We're going to write a condition if n modulo 2 is equals to 0. If it is it, I'm checking if condition. What did I just explain you? This is how you check, right? So if it is equals to 0, then obviously it's an even number. See, if it's not 0, obviously it will be, if it is not 0, obviously it will be 1, right? Meaning, if this is not true, you can directly print it's an odd number. Am I right? For my understanding, I'm gonna print here as well, okay? And divide by 2, I'm gonna print for my understanding, okay? Saying the remainder. See, for my understanding, I'm gonna print the remainder, okay? And print, okay, I think we already giving the number, cool. So clear, and we'll run, enter the given number, we'll give 4. When dividing a number, we're getting a remainder of 0. 0 means we're gonna print even number, right? When we'll give 17, we'll get 1 remainder. So n divided by 2 value is 1, so it's not 0, so obviously it's gonna go to else statement, print odd number. Simple. Cool. So these are the basics of if conditions, right? So we are done with this, right? So once you are done, you're good with conditions, okay? We have seen if condition and else condition. So I think we can go to loops and see, okay? So we'll go to loops and try to understand what we can do. So print 1 to 100 numbers. How do you print 1 to 100 numbers? Okay, not 100 numbers, just 1 to 3 numbers if I say. How do you print? Write a print statement. 1, you can print 2, 3. Am I right? 2, 3. See, 1, 2, 3 is printing. If I say 10, you can still try it. Add few more print statement, change the values, right? You're gonna still work. But what if I tell 100? Can you do this? If I tell you 100, if I tell you to print 100, are you gonna do? So what you will be doing if I tell you 100? Okay, maybe you can still try. Or 1000. Doesn't make sense, right? Or 1 crore. Doesn't make sense, right? So how can you print 1000 or 1 crore numbers in just very few milliseconds? Right, computer can do that, but we need to instruct, and that's the main power of programming. Here where the programming power of programming will be introduced using loops. A single statement should be repeated multiple times. The same statement should be repeated multiple times. How? We should write a loop, and in Python we will be writing like this. Let's add loops. In Python we'll be adding something like this. See, this is the syntax. For you need to declare a variable, okay, and you need to write membership operator, and you will write a range. I'm gonna explain you. Range expects a number, okay. See, this is an iterator, okay. Range bracket is an iterator. So if you give a number 10, it is this iterator is basically going to start from number 0 and iterate until the given number, right? It's not gonna go until 10, the number before it, okay. And you can take any variable. Let's say I is commonly used variable, and you need to put semicolons, and you know Python is an indentation, so obviously you're gonna print from few spaces. Print I. So I'm gonna run this basic program and show you. For I in range, give any number 10, okay, semicolon, a space, and I'm gonna print I. Let's run this program. See, it is starting with 0 and is going 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And if you want it in the same line, you know this, right? End is equals to a space, means after printing every number also print me a space. See, this is what it means: 0 space, 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. Cool. Did you understand this? Okay. For I in range, print I. So here you're not printing 10. If you want to print 10, you need to put 11, okay. Or you can put a value, you can keep a variable and you can assign it something like this, n, okay. Let's n equals to 10, so it's gonna print from 1 to 9, okay. Or I in range n plus 1. So you just need to know what you're doing. N plus 1 means you're keeping 11. If you're keeping 11 means it will print until 10. Makes sense, right? Good. Are we good? This loop is running how many times? If I keep 11, it's going to run 11 times. It is printing from 0 to 10. It is running 11 times. If I keep range 10, it is running 10 times. It is running 10 times, right? 0 to 9, how many numbers? 10 numbers. 10 times it is running if I keep range 10. Cool. If I keep n value 3, how many times we are running? 3 times. I value being 0 1 2. I value being 0 1 2. Okay. I want to uh, print something 3 times, anything, okay. Let's say Samsung. So I want to print the word Samsung 3 times, not in the same line. See, so I have printed Samsung 3 times. Understood? I value is I also want to print the I value to let you know. That's why I'm keeping I. See, when I value is 0, it is printing Samsung. When it is running the second time, I value is 1, it is printing Samsung. When I value is 2, it is printing 2 and also Samsung. When I value is 3, it's not running. Simple as it. So what's the question? Print 1 to 100. Print 1 to 100. N value is 100. If I keep 100, it's not gonna print 100. I have to print keep n plus 1. So I will be printing until 100, comma, and is equals to a space. In the same line I want to print. Makes sense? 1 to 100. You can keep any number. Okay. I kept 10,000, so I will be printing until 10,000. Makes sense? Cool. Cool. So let's just keep 100 for the moment. Right? You are printing 1 to 100. So this is the basics of loops. Okay. And now the second question being, ask the user to enter a number and print that same number that many times. This is a very good question. I'm gonna explain you this question first, and loops2.py. It's a very good question. Let me explain you first. Ask the user to enter a number. Okay, user gave number 3 and print that same number that many times. So this is input, user gave 3, and output should be, we are gonna print the same number 3 how many times? 3 times. If user gave 5, print output should be, we should print 5 times. Okay, is it good? If input is 2, right, we're gonna print 2 times. Good question, right? So let's take an input. N equals to int input, enter the number. So let's say I have given 3. Input is 3. Input let's say input is 3, right? So n value is 3. My loop should run 3 times. For I in range, my loop should run 3 times. If I keep range n, I'm gonna run 3 times, right? Am I right or wrong? I'm keeping range n. Let's say if input value is 5, I'm gonna run my loop 5 times or not? That is what we want, right? If our n value is 3, I'm gonna run loop 3 times. If n value is 5, I'm gonna run 5 times. And every time I should print the n value, not the I value. Every time I'm gonna print the n value. See, for I in range n, okay, and if I print I, what happens? If I give 5 and I am printing I, I'm gonna print from 0 to 4 because the iterator is going from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is how iterator is going, right? But I don't want to print I want to print n, the same number. So n value is what? N value is 5, or whatever the value given. Makes sense? See, if I give 3 or 5, I'm printing the same number. I'm not printing I. See, just to make things clear, I want to print both. Enter the number 5, right? See, I'm printing I, and every time I'm printing n, I value will be 0 and 0, and n value is 5. And when I equals to 1, I value is 1, n value is 5. When I equals to 2, I value is 2, n value 5. 3, 5, 4, 5. Cool, makes sense. Okay, so if I give n value as 3, if n value is 3, loop is gonna run from 0 to 2, right? If n value is 3, loop gonna run from 0 to 2, and every time I'm gonna print n, not I. Makes sense. If I give 100, I'm gonna print 100 times. I'm gonna print 100 times. Okay, if I'm gonna give 2, I'm gonna print 2 times. Simple. Loop running from 0 1. Easy. Cool. I think this is very good problem for you to try and explore things. Okay, and since we are not using I, basically you can put like this, meaning that there is no I. You can use it's gonna still run. Okay, it's gonna still run, meaning that we don't want any variable I. That's it. For time being you can use it. There is no much differentiation between using this variable and not using this variable. Okay, so that's the basics of loops. Okay, and I'm gonna show you the same thing using while loop. And my question is, anything we can do it with for loop, can we do it with while loop? Anything we are doing with for loop, can we do it with while loop? The answer is obviously yes, right? See, while dot view, anything we are doing with for loop. I'm going to show some basic example for printing 1 to 10 numbers, and this is how you do it with for loop. Okay, and I'm gonna explain you the syntax for that as well. See, if you want to print something using while loop, we just put while. Okay, and while expects only one thing, condition. Condition meaning, as I said, in if condition you will put a condition, right? Condition, and outside you will initialization condition. Okay, and inside the while loop we will write whatever the code we want, and we'll do updation. Okay, so this is the syntax for the while loop. Okay, see, I'm gonna write the same thing. So while, here becomes a condition, and let's take a variable. Let's I is equals to 1, and what is the condition? See, as long as the condition is true, we are going inside the while loop. As long as the condition is true, is 1 lesser than 10, is I lesser than n, is 1 lesser than 10, true. See, I'm gonna print here just a string here. Let's say n value is 3. So what happens here? If I run this program, what happens here? So I'm gonna declare a variable n equals to 3 and I equals to 1. Two variables are declared, and 1 lesser than 3, printing here, yes, true. And again checking the same thing, 1 lesser than 3, true. And again checking the same thing. So it keep on checking the same thing, and we are gonna keep on printing the here. Okay, see, if you see, this is how you get time limit exceeded, or TLE, meaning time limit exceeded error. Okay, so basically to avoid such things, because we are going to check the same condition again and again, I need to update the variable of I. Okay, break this. Cool. See, I am updating the variable of I. So I'm going to show you the same thing. I declared I is equals to 1, and while I lesser than n, which is 3, and value is 3, and while printing I, and I'm updating the I value, I equals to I plus 1. What does it mean, guys? What does it mean? Can you tell me? So I'm gonna show a dry run of this code, meaning if n value, see, let me just rewrite these things for you. N value is 3, and I value is 1. Is 1 lesser than 3? Yes, true. Is 1 lesser than 3? Print I, print 1, and I am updating I is nothing but I plus 1. See, first it will evaluate the right hand expression. When you write n equals to 3, it will first evaluate the right hand expression and assign the value to n. So similarly, 1 plus 1, I value is 1, 1 plus 1 is I value is 1, so 1 plus 1 will be 2. It will assign the I value to 2. Okay, and again it checks, is 2 is lesser than 3? Yes, 2 is lesser than 3, and second time it's gonna print I value 2, and again we are updating I value will be 2, 2 plus 1 3. We are assigning the value I value 3. Is 3 lesser than 3? Is 3 lesser than 3? No, 3 is not lesser than 3. That's it. We're gonna break false. That's it. I think we'll run this, and here we are printing, let's say we print I for time being. See, 1 and 2, and if you want to print something else, you can see here I am printing. So I'm gonna print here 2 times, right? When I value is 1 here, when I value is 2 here. If I is starting with 0, I'm gonna print 3 times when I value is being 0, 1, 2. Is it the same thing we are doing with loops, right? In loops also we are doing the same thing, right? So if you want to run the loop 10 times, and every time you want to print the numbers from 0 to 10, how do you write it? In the same line. If you want to print until 10, means you'll keep 10 plus 1. So when I value is 10, 10 is lesser than 11. True. Okay, it will break when I is 11, and I'm printing in the same line. Okay, but I just want to print from 1. If you want to print from 1, start iterating from 1. Simple. See, I just want to let you know, anything we can do it with for loop, we can also do it with while loop, but sometimes it would be more convenient or more readable in terms of other developers to review or anything. So based on the comfortability or convenience of the writing, we will use either for loop or while loop. It's completely based on, right, at that for that question it will be more convenient for you if you write it in while loop, or more readable for you if you write it in while loop rather than using a for loop. But it is not that we can't do it in for loop. Anything we can do it with for loop, we can also do it in while loop. So this is the basic syntax of uh, loops and conditions, and I would highly encourage you to do some of the problems mentioned here. Okay, so loop through, I will just read out the questions, so maybe you guys have context of, you'll understand the question. So loop through the numbers from 1 to 10 and print only the numbers greater than 5. Okay, here the loop should be running from 1 to 10, so you should keep range 10, and you should start with 1. Okay, and you should print only the number is greater than 5. So inside the loop you should keep a condition and try to print the numbers greater than 5. And second one be same thing, loop from 1 to 10. So I'm gonna show you one small thing. In loops, here if you keep 10, we're gonna run, right? See, uh, in while loop we are keeping I value, and we are also keeping the end value. We are keeping starting value as I, ending value is n. In for loop also we can do that. Actually this range is there, right? If you keep only one parameter, it will take it as the ending parameter. But if it is optional parameter, you can also keep two parameters. It will start with 5. See, I'm going to show you. It will start with 5, and it will start I value starting with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, and it's until up to you. If you want to start with 1, you can start with 1 instead of 0. Cool. So range, if you keep two parameters, one is starting parameter and another one is ending parameter. If you keep only one parameter, by default it will gonna start from 0. Okay, so we can further explore while doing such problems. So loop through numbers 1 to 10, and for each number print even or odd. Okay, you can still do it. Loop through 1 to 10. 1 is even, you're gonna print even, and 2 is, sorry, 1 is odd, you're gonna print odd. 2 is even, you're gonna print even. 3 odd, even. So it's one alternative print, odd even, odd even, or odd even, like that. And last problem being, write a program that calculates the sum of all the numbers until 1 to 10, which means we have to print the sum of all the numbers: 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, right? So if the given value is let's say 3, right, then you need to print the sum of total 3 natural numbers, which will be 1 plus 2 plus 3. How would you do it? So just try thinking on it, or else maybe we can further explore and do these problems as well. And maybe that's it for today's lecture. Cool. And maybe you guys are having any doubts, feel free to mention in the comment section. I will be able to help you out, or you want to further discuss any topic in programming, feel free to mention. We'll take it up and we'll do it. And thank you for everyone for listening to this lecture, and I hope every one of you have a great day. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. See you again. Bye.